One of the things all billing managers struggle with is balancing their consulting or recruiting time with their managing time. And this is not unusual, it's the biggest challenge. And so your personal organization is the key to solving this problem. And what I've found is that most managers come in and their strategy for the day and for the week is to work hard. And they sit at their desk and they work hard. And typically what they do is they deal with the next thing that hits them. It might be a consulting issue, it might be a management issue. There's no plan, there's no strategy. And so what tends to happen is one of two things, both bad. They either gravitate more and more into just recruiting and spend less time with nurturing the team, or they spend all their time firefighting, answering questions and getting stuff delegated to them by their staff, and then they don't hit their recruiting budget. And so what I learned many, many years ago is that you actually have to plan your management time. And this is going to sound somewhat fabricated, but it doesn't matter. You need to impose yourself on your job. And you need to set aside time to actually roam the office. Now, that's a figure of speech. It could be there's only two of you. But what I mean by this is you need to set aside time to lift your head, stop taking phone calls from candidates and clients, and engage with your staff. I bet that there's plenty of you listening to me now who have been through a week, and it's now Thursday already, 4 days of the week, you've been working so hard, and you know what? You've hardly said a word to Mary on the other side of the room. You weren't being rude, it's just that she's been busy and you've been busy. And you can justify to yourself that you've been productive, but in actual fact, my question to you would be, what impact have you had on Mary? What have you done to enhance her productivity? How would you know what she's working on and whether she could be more effective? And the reason for that is you haven't planned your time. And I literally, in the early days, used to put a block of time in my diary from 3 to 4, 10 till 11, whatever it was each day. And I used to write some code in there because I didn't want anyone to see that I actually was saying, I'm now going to manage. And I'd get out of my seat and I'd walk around and talk to people. And I literally would do that. I'd sit next to Mary. How's it going? What's up? What are the main jobs you're working on? Who are your hit list candidate? What are your challenges? And that 3-minute conversation would leave me feeling she was on top of her game and she knew what she was doing. I'd leave her with a pat on the back and a well done and away I'd go. But on other occasions, I'd clearly get the understanding she's struggling. She's not prioritizing. She is like a chicken with its head cut off. She's running around in circles but doesn't have a plan. And then I would allocate time. Hey Mary, you know what? Tomorrow morning, let's have coffee at 9 o'clock together. Let me go through your job orders with you, and between us we'll work out which are the most important ones. And so you would then be more effective as a leader. I'll never forget one day I was doing just this, roaming around the office, and the receptionist said, you know, Greg, you're always walking about. Haven't you got enough to do? It was ironic because I never felt busier in my life. But it actually was a good thing because it said to me, I'm doing the right things. Your job is to bill, yes. But the second part of your job, which is equal to the first part, it is to leverage the results of other people. And so you've got to set time aside, literally. You've got to make sure you're impacting those people. Spend the time with Mary. Go on a client visit with Joe. Make the time to do it. Don't allow the job to run you. You run your job. And you impose your time frames on your job. I know that's difficult. I know there's an emergency. I know a client calls with some issue. I know someone resigns and you've got to deal with it. That's no excuse. Overall, you've got to make sure that you are a point of leverage. And that means that your recruiters at the end of the week are better because of your input. And they cannot be better if all you've done is put your head in the phone or into your laptop and type stuff to clients. That might bill fees, but your job is a billing manager. And you've got to get the balance right. And so my advice to you is set management time. That's what you've got to do.